Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. Mark again here, WeatherMan Plus. Now I'm going to update you on these multiple storms that we have coming through very strong, and you're going to see a lot more weather patterns just like this. Our severe weather is kicking up this morning, and I'm showing it's going to end up with a big bang, a potential southern snowfall at the end of it. And you can see here for today that we are having tornado warnings in Kentucky. We're having severe thunderstorm warnings, and severe thunderstorm warnings is when you got winds at least a criteria of 58 miles per hour. You are getting a lot of hail also for Kentucky, but you have multiple tornado warnings. Why are you getting these storms to the Ohio Valley? You are getting some snow across Missouri, 1 to 3 inches, and you have a lot of wind advisories out. All this yellow is all wind advisories for today, and you are in a tornado watch, and all this pink down below. And there is a lot going on with these storms this morning. A lot of fast cells moving 60 miles per hour, 70 miles per hour, very fast moving cells. And you can see the rotation that's coming in the atmosphere as they pass by. A lot of rotation on these thunderstorms. So there's a lot going on out there. Thunderstorm wind damage, there is a lot going on out there. And you see rotation all the way down and severe thunderstorms all the way up this line. That means a lot of damage and winds coming with this with a criteria of 58 miles per hour. So let me update you on everything that is going on. I have some new information for you. You've never been here before. Make sure you subscribe. I am all year long. Timestamps will be in the description for you guys. Make sure you share this information on social media. Let other people know what is going on, as well as hit that like button. We do have our winner for today, and we are giving away another weather station for tomorrow. Now, starting with the West Coast, you can see the update on our EPO, or East Pacific Oscillation, that you have another strong system still coming from the 14th through the 15th. Then you're going to go on that higher ridge where it's going to start warming up a little bit. You're going to have a high pressure swirling around, bringing all the moisture around y'all, and you're not going to get it. But around the end of January, sometime in the 20s, there's going to be another dip of a strong system coming far to the southwest. And this could be the one to bring potential snowfall to the south. And you can see the same thing on GFS. So you have a storm coming in on the west coast. It's that strong system we've been talking about. As you go up on this high ridge on your jet stream, but then it's going to come back in the 20s. Now, GFS has been saying, hey, it's going to come way far down all the way to the end of January, deep into our country, going to the Gulf of Mexico. Then it's been saying on the latest run that it's not going so deep, and then maybe later. Now, at this time, I'd like to point out that GFS is not the only model system that is seeing this big dip coming to the south of the U.S., even bringing potential snow. So you can see with the latest update with the Euro that you will have these storms coming still all the way to the 16th, maybe the 17th as it goes up on that high ridge on the west coast. That's all I'm talking about at this point. I know about the other storms. I will go through them. But the systems keep coming to the west coast all the way from the 14th. He gets another strong system all the way to the 15th as it stays there and builds. Then you get another one that still goes down towards Southern California all the way to the 16th. Then we're going to be on that high ridge, and all these storms are going to just going towards Washington, towards Oregon, while you get this high pressure build up, and it just revolves all this around y'all, and you get that break. But the GFS is seeing after you get into the 20s, after your break, that it goes into a deep dip all the way towards Mexico, and we get a lot of low pressure built up, and it could be a big storm forming up somewheres in the south. And this is going to go up on a higher ridge. So if we have cold temperatures, this precipitation will bring some southern snow. Now, National Weather Service has put this out, and the link is in the description of a series of atmospheric rivers that will continue to impact California into next week. And you can see that down here. A series of atmospheric river is forecast to continue producing additional periods of heavy precipitation across California next week. And you can also see down here rainfall for your next 7 days all the way to January 18th. The lighter blue is 2 to 4 inches more of rainfall coming. That darker shade of blue is 4 to 10 inches of rainfall coming, and 10 plus inches of more rainfall coming along the coast and for southern Oregon. This is for the next 7 days. And you can see that shot here for the next 7 days. You do have precipitation coming to the east side of the U.S. I'll get to that. But you see up here for Washington, Oregon, and California that you have a lot of red, not to mention the brown and the yellows. And all the red is anywhere from 3 to 4 inches. But once you go to this orange up here for Washington, southern Oregon, even a little bit along the coast, northern California, and the brown, all that orange is going 5 to 7 inches, and all that brown is 7 to 10 inches more precipitation. And you can see the red goes all the way down California. You even get some for way southern California all the way down to San Diego. Purple and red. Anywhere from 1 to 3, possibly 4 inches of rainfall the next 7 days. And I have this page in the link in the description for you as well. So let's go through the severe weather aspect that we have for today real quick. And you see we did get a tornado in southern Illinois, and we had a tornado this morning in northern Alabama. And they are reporting storm damage with people entrapped near Del Mar in western Winston County. So you can see with HRRR this morning that we have these storms moving through Kentucky, going to Ohio. This is where you have that possible tornado warnings, severe thunderstorms, as you have them coming through Mississippi and going through Alabama all day long. Then it's going to go through Tennessee, and you're going to start having this squall line still appear, bringing a lot of damage and winds as it goes all afternoon long into later tonight. And you can see the bowing out, and it's still bringing a lot of winds with it all the way until later on when you go to bed. Midnight and 1 o'clock, it starts calming down. But you see it stays severe all the way till 9 o'clock. This storms are going to be a long day of it. You're going to hear a lot of boom and bang out there. Still bringing storms all night long to the northeast while it drops that little bit of snowfall, and you get some heavy banding for the intercoastal northeast out of this first system. The next two are bringing more and more. And there's multiple things happening with this. So for the immediate, you have a lot of wind shear on all of these cells. Look at these cells right in between this front, getting a lot of shear on them as it goes to the east. That brings your chances for tornadoes, whether it's going to be wind direction or speed shear. Regardless, you will have damage and winds. But there is a chance for these to turn into tornadoes as the day goes along. It is a nasty line of storms that's coming, that's getting all that shear, all those winds. So pay attention to this. Is today's severe weather, and this has been upgraded twice already this morning. So for tornadoes, you have a 2%, you have a 5% now, and a 10% for chances for tornadoes. And here's your cities and states at risk for the tornado threat for today. The 10% is the yellow, 5% in the brown, and a 2% in the green. Plus, it is bringing damage and winds with it, and that has been upgraded also. You have a big 5% in the brown, 15% in the yellow, and a big old 30% in this red. And here's your cities and states at the risk for damage and winds today. And you can see the 30% is about the same area for the 10% of tornadoes. So you definitely have a lot of damage and winds and chances for tornadoes today, especially for Alabama and Georgia as this front line moves through all evening long. Also, chances for hail today. You have a 5% in the brown and a 15% in this yellow for today. Now, you will have lift all day long going across Tennessee and the south all the way until 6 o'clock at night. Then it dissipates to a little bit of eastern Tennessee, downgrading quickly. But you still have that squall line, and you still have lift in that area all the way to South Carolina, a little bit of North Carolina. But once you go to 7 p.m. and 8 p.m., it goes down very quickly, and your chances for your tornadoes will dissipate. So any storms that you have after that will be damage and wind threat. It will not be chances for tornadoes. So real quick, let me show you your threats. So for southern Mississippi, as this moves through you today, you can see your winds are all going east very fast at the lower level winds that get picking up with intensity. So if you get a tornado, it will be speed shear, but this looks more like you will have a lot of damage and winds passing through. Still, speed shear can create a tornado. Same threat for Alabama. As this passes through, you have a lot of winds going east, and it does pick up with intensity at your lower level winds. Definitely chances for damage and winds for today, and if you get a tornado, it would be speed shear for you as well. Even as you go later in the day, for southern Alabama, you also have the same thing. A lot of high winds at the lower levels, chances for damage and winds, and it'll be speed shear if you get a tornado. Northern Georgia, the same effect. You have a lot of fast winds moving through, especially at the lower levels. Yours are stronger than anybody else so far. Definitely chances for damage and winds and speed shear for a tornado. And as it moves further towards South Carolina, the line moves towards central Georgia. And you can see right here also a lot of chances for damage and winds. Even the higher winds are coming closer to the ground. So you definitely have chances for damage and winds and speed shear for a tornado. As well as upstate South Carolina. As this storm moves through, you can see that your lower level winds are very strong. Chances for damage and winds as you go through the day as the storm gets closer. And they do pick up with intensity as it passes by. Definitely chances for damage and winds and maybe speed shear for a tornado. Remember, you have lift all the way till 6 p.m. And the same thing for North Carolina. As it moves through, you do have winds going from south to north, and you get a little bit of wind direction with height, with intensity as well. So you definitely have chances for a tornado, but as you move along, you'll see that it definitely turns into a damage and wind threat as these storms pass through. The winds get very fast, and they go lower to the ground. Now, when you check helicity values, which gives you your wind direction change with height, it lets you know if you have a lot of rotating atmospheres, a lot of rotating thunderstorms out there. You can see this morning that you are having a lot for Kentucky, and you do have some from Mississippi going into Alabama, right where we have these tornado warnings, right where we have these severe thunderstorm warnings. As you go through the day, it's going to continue down Mississippi, continue down to Alabama, a little bit for Tennessee as you go through noon and 1 o'clock. Then it builds up for northern Georgia as you go all afternoon long into upstate South Carolina, a little bit into North Carolina. But as the evening goes along, you see how it just weakens down and goes away. So a big hot area today, 4 chances for strong thunderstorms, bringing at least 50 to 58 miles per hour damage and winds, and chances for tornadoes. And maybe even a strong one popping up for western Tennessee this morning. With a lot of lightning strikes coming out of these storms all day, still showing, see that purple down there, very high on the scale. Definitely chances for hail to come out of that. I don't see the whites, I don't see the large hail, but I still see a lot of chances for hail, especially for the deep south. As these storms pass by, you get a lot of lightning strikes, a lot of strong storms coming off the Gulf, and is coming right on land with these strong storms. Look how bright the lightning strikes are getting. Definitely chances for hail to come out of the deep south as these storms go along. But like I said, once you get to 6 and 7 and 8 o'clock, once you get to 8 o'clock, the storms digress back, and it's just going to be for Georgia as you go through the rest of the evening and the panhandle of Florida. But you can see with HRRR, and this is the latest, this is a 12Z, that your winds at the lower levels do pick up as you go by Alabama, Tennessee, and Kentucky for today. And once you go into the afternoon, it expands into Georgia, into South Carolina, into North Carolina, even Virginia, and the East Coast gets on it as you go later into tonight. And look, it amplifies. So now you're at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, your thunderstorms are way down here into Georgia. Still have the squall line, but your thunderstorms are down here. Your lift is gone as far as tornadoes, and your winds are picking up. So it's definitely going to turn into a damage and wind threat as you go all night long, especially for the Northeast, into the morning hours. Still showing it will transfer into 40 and 50 miles per hour wind gusts. That's what you get with those severe thunderstorms for northern Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, and it does go into central and northern Georgia, upstate South Carolina, and western North Carolina, even western Virginia. You get a couple of strips of some storms that stay lasting as long as possible, and that orange is all 50, and the red would be 60. So there's still a lot of high winds coming with this. But the latest update with GFS does show it will transfer into 50s and 60s. You did see the lower level winds did pick up. However, GFS is not a high resolution model. It's been showing this for days. Canadian and Euro has been agreeing with what HRRR says, that these winds will be offshore. And you can see this with the latest run from the Euro, the 6Z, that most of these winds will remain offshore, just like HRRR shows. And HRRR is a way better model than any of these. Still not bringing much snow. You still got a little swath of 1 to 3 inches for Kansas and Missouri. They're getting that snow now. Very light amount for everybody else. You might see it fall down. You probably won't. It probably will warm up and turn to rain before it hits the ground. But higher elevations of North Carolina, a little bit of Tennessee, a little bit of eastern Kentucky, and higher elevations of West Virginia Could see anywhere from 1 to 3, maybe a little more towards higher elevations of North Carolina like Asheville, Hendersonville. Y'all could see more snow out of this for anybody. And an intercoastal northeast. Not getting a whole bunch of snowfall within the next 4 days, but it does hit the northern half of the New England states, anywhere from 3 to 5 inches, and as you go further north like Maine, maybe a foot. But it could clip over here by Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, over here by Boston. You could get some snowfall out of it as the system moves away. That's a potential. Plus, the next storm systems are coming. So let me give you the updates from Climate Prediction Center. You do have a slight risk for high winds from the 19th through the 21st in this brown line going all the way to Colorado. And you have the slight risk from the 20th through the 22nd for Southern California as these storms make that big dip and go south like I showed you. And you can see when you look at the 500 millibar of these winds that it is bringing a lot of winds according to the Euro in this storm that's going to the east. Also that next system, as it comes in, it brings a lot of high winds towards California. Then as it comes across our country, still getting high winds because there's multiple systems still coming. It brings these winds towards the U.S. and it starts adding up for them for our next system around the 18th through the 20th. A lot of strong winds coming. This will be the next severe weather pattern. Remember, we got about 3 of them coming. And look at these winds all the way across the U.S. A lot of strong winds coming on that next setup. And there is a precipitation outlook for that storm as well. From the 19th through the 23rd, when you get that next setup, you have a slight risk for heavy precipitation in this green area. Also from the 20th through the 23rd, you still have it for Alaska. Now, Euro don't quite see that far. Climate Prediction Center, they are so well ahead of everybody. It's great. I love it. But you can see as you go through the 19th through the 23rd, not to count what you're getting on the West Coast, just talking about what these storms are going to do to the Central and East Coast, you can see how the rainfall adds up. And it adds up a lot compared to the GFS. A real hot spot for up to a foot of rainfall. And this is where our big snowstorms come into play. So for the 19th through the 23rd, this is where it starts. This is where you have a slight risk for heavy snow to start as this next one comes in and brings that big swath of snow with it. Still too far to be sure, of course, on where these impacts are going to lie, but I'll show you the updates. So far, not only for the west side of the U.S. bringing a lot of heavy snow, all the way from Kansas and Nebraska, a chance still for a foot of snow all the way towards Michigan, and for the Northeast, the New England states, a lot of heavy snow. So you can see how you got that outlook for that little bit of snow that comes in, and then it spreads across the U.S. And you can see this with GFS as well. Not only are we going to get that big swath of snow, still not knowing where that is going to hit. It's still too far to be sure. But it is seeing this big dip of cold air that is coming one more time. Winter is not over with us. And a potential southern snowfall coming out of that deep cold air as we get that deep dip of that storm, that low pressure that builds up late in the 20s that comes up through the south like I showed you. Now don't get too excited just yet, but GFS is not the only model that sees a southern snowfall. So when you look at all your ensembles as of today, this will update, guys. You see all the major snowfall that could come down for the south and the south central. This being your more than likely outcome, your control member of right now, showing that you won't get much of anything. Maybe New Mexico, Oklahoma, a little bit of northern Arkansas. This will update, guys, because you can also see it for the southeast. Chances for a lot of snow to come down to the southeast, but the majority of them right now is showing, if anything, it will be a small amount. Matter of fact, if you look at your control member, right now it is saying that it is not possible. But you can see your precipitable water for the storm that we have for today, bringing that severe weather. Then we're going to get this cold air come all the way down towards the south. I will update you. Then we're going to get another pattern of precipitable water coming in from the Gulf right around the late teens. This is not the big one. The big one comes right after that. That's going to be somewhat weak. Then after that, then we're going to get a big lift of moisture. And look how much thicker this precipitation is. This is a lot thicker, a lot stronger than what we're dealing with already. And for the model to see this not being a high resolution model, showing it being worse later on, really raises my ears up on what we can expect from this system that comes in from the 17th through the early 20s. A very stronger system, a lot more cold air coming in, a lot more severe weather will come out of that. But still showing that this cold air coming behind this system for this first one will bring cold temperatures all the way down towards Florida. Now these are your temperatures, not your wind chills, as you go through Saturday night into Sunday morning. That's where it's bringing a lot of y'all high 20s all across to the East Coast, even 30s going all the way down to Florida, even high 30s and maybe 40s for southern Florida. Definitely going to make those iguanas fall out of those trees. And it is bringing a lot of teen temperatures all across to the Northeast. So this is going to be a nasty chill that's going to come all the way from Friday all the way until Sunday. Very nasty cold air coming through, and it is going to start over here in the upper Midwest for where I'm at for the teen temperatures as this cold air moves through all the way until Sunday. As you go through Sunday morning, it's going to make everybody feel like they're in the teen temperatures, even the 20s for the South and the Southeast. This is your wind chills, your feel-like temperatures. It's going to feel like it is 30-something degrees all the way down towards Miami with these wind chills, while everybody else feels like they're in the teen temperatures all the way to the single digits for the East Coast. Look at these single-digit wind chills you're going to get, even maybe some negative wind chills for the northern New England states. This is Saturday going into Sunday. So look at an update on the Arctic Oscillation, your cold air. You can see that cold air coming in right behind the storm system that we are getting. Then after that, the cold air is going to linger around until the 24th or 25th and start going away and maybe come back in the beginning of February. Now GFS sees that as well, and it says that we're going to get a deep dip of cold air right around the 20th before it warms up again and maybe come back again at the end of January. Way too far to be sure, but GFS is showing it is some very cold air coming in the 20s, and it will reach all the way down to the south and the southeast. Very cold temperatures. And worse with the wind chills, negative 20 to negative 30 degree wind chills could be moving in, putting everybody feeling like they're in the single digit temperatures and teen temperatures in the south. And you can see it goes all the way towards the East Coast as well. A lot of cold air potentially coming. Now what I can see is this won't be late January. It's going to be like Euro says. This is going to be early February. Now you can see this on Climate Forecast System. It is a great model. It is not 100% accurate, but lots of times when it sees these anomalies, they do come true, guys. It is a good long range model, and it is showing right in the 20s that we actually will be in somewhat of a warm-up. Nothing super serious coming through for the South or the Southeast. It's showing that it's going to come in the beginning of February, come all the way down and bring a lot of cold temperatures with this anomaly, like winter is not over. By February 5th, bringing in the cold air, coming all the way down to the south, the southeast, bringing single digits, teen temperatures by the 5th. And this isn't your wind chill. This is your temperatures moving across and staying a while for just 6th and maybe the 7th. It is too far to be sure, but Climate Forecast System is seeing an anomaly coming and is saying early February, just like the Euro is showing, there's going to be another dip in early February. And I would believe this more than the GFS, because even the Euro agrees something else is going on in early February. And it is seen that with those temperatures, we'll have these storms, just like GFS sees these low pressures coming in at the end of January, could bring a southern snowfall with it for the south as you go through the 5th through the 8th. So we definitely need to keep our eye open for that system when it comes through for the late 20s. So let's get our winner for today. 777 Tage, you are the winner of the weather station for today. Radar, hey, hope all is well with you. You're feeling better. Thanks for the weather update. Blessings, Dana. Thank you so much. God bless you. Yes, everything is great now. I appreciate your concern. It feels so good to get thought of sometimes, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone that gave wishes and blessings for my family. Make sure you contact me at this email, kidsgamingtoday. That way I can get your information, ship this to you. I need your phone number as well. That way you can get live tracking on this weather station. Congratulations to you, Dana. Hope you have a very blessed day. So remember, I will be giving away another one of these weather stations for tomorrow. But you got to be a subscriber. You got to hit the like button. And you got to put the comment radar in the comments. So I will see you tomorrow on giving another one away. These storms are getting pretty serious. So I want to get this out to you guys. God bless you all. Keep you all safe from this severe weather that's going on. Remember, we have multiple rounds of this going on with these storms as they move through. I will keep you updated. Thank you so much for those that share this information, help get these warnings out so it's not a surprise to all these people. Today, I want to read to you Psalm 67, 1 through 6. God, be merciful unto us, and bless us, and cause his face to shine upon us. Selah. And Selah means think about what you just heard. That thy way may be known upon earth, thy saving health among all nations. Let the people praise thee, O God. Let all the people praise thee. O let the nations be glad and sing for joy, for thou shalt judge the people righteously, and govern the nations upon earth. Selah. Let the people praise thee, O God. Let all the people praise thee. Then shall the earth yield her increase, and God, even our own God, shall bless us. Amen. It is such a nice warm feeling to hear our Father's words every day. God bless you all. May you have a very blessed day today. And remember, above all things, all glory goes to Yahweh. All glory goes to God, our Father. And may he bless you forever. Remember to always praise him and give thanks for everything in your life. Amen. Hallelujah. Have a great day, everybody.